Alright guys, what's happening everyone? Welcome along to another episode of 420 News brought to you by Martin's World. And I'm your show host, Martin Condon. So guys, welcome along to another episode of the show. Today is Wednesday, midweek guys. Hope everybody's doing well out there and you haven't been getting hassled by the popo. Who have we got out there, guys? We got Russell Banta. What's going on, Russell? We got Rudy out there as well. Peter is out there. Peter says, hi, everyone. Hope all is well and hi. And we have Adam Byrne out there as well, asking, anyone tried those Cloud Nines? Can't say I have anyway, Adam. So apologies, but Podge85, what's going on, Podge? We have Mustaways out there as well. He says, worked for me and I didn't get one last time. Nice, good to hear that some people are getting the notifications. Who else is out there? Zombie Nation, what's going on, Zombie? Hope you're well. Still jealous that my daughter prefers your name over mine, but sure. Mustaways is out there as well. What's going on, Mustaways? We have Hype as well, pre-evening all, and Scals. What's going on, Scals? New name there to the show. And Irish Hemp Harvest is out there as well. What's going down, Irish Hemp Harvest? Hope you're well. Also got some of Irish Hemp Harvest goodies here. Where are they? Oh yeah, there we go. I got some CBD isolate here that Irish Hemp Harvest had sent me down. And go on, yeah, there we go. 1 gram of CBD isolate. Apparently it's the sticker just came off. But apparently 99% CBD, 0% THC. Come on, zoom, focus, do it. There we go. But nice one for that. And just on that at the moment, like it seems like this stuff is going to be the future in terms of where money is being made. From extracts from the cannabis plant. In terms of isolates, CBD isolates, THC isolates, and stuff like that, it seems like this is where the future market is in that infusions and things like drinks and different foods. It will be done using isolates. Not all of the time will this come from the cannabis plant either. Like a lot of these isolates can be brewed up in the lab using yeast and different kind of biopharmaceutical techniques such as that anyway. But yeah, that definitely does seem like that is the future. And that's not to say that the herb and the full spectrum won't have its place. It just seems like when it comes to convenience, you look at the drinks, the cam drinks that are out there right now at the moment, and some of the other products, you have CBD water and everything like, and it seems like that will be where the future will be going for that kind of an industry. But certainly herb will always have its place there as well. But nice one again, Irish Hemp Harvest, for sending me down some of those. Those pre-rolls you sent me down were absolutely lovely. The Black Cherry, I believe it was called, was probably the nicer of the two. But really nice stuff. Thanks again for sending me down those products. Who else have we joining us out there, guys? We have Bhagwan Son. What's going on, Bhagwan? We have Below. What's going on, Below? Fwetch is out there as well. We've Kieran Coleman. What's going on, Kieran? Skatanist is out there. And Connor S as well. And WRT Gunner as well getting in there. So welcome along to the show, guys. Let's get stuck on into today's 420 news for you. So today's 420 news is going to start off with the Tidy Buds. Tidy Buds, welcome along to the 420 news. I believe it's the second time now I'm going to be highlighting the work of the Tidy Buds. Tidy Buds, I believe it got its origins here on the 420 news. Just shooting the breeze, a couple of ideas going back and forth between myself and your good selves out there in the audience, and the Tidy Buds was born. So well done to everybody there who's gotten involved in the Tidy Buds so far, with the designing the vest that we were wearing. I actually have the vest right behind me here, actually. The green screen is probably going to play havoc here, but yeah, as expected, the green screen played a bit of havoc there. But a really nice vest, actually, nonetheless. But well done, guys. Love the fact that I got to be a part of the start of this group. But the guys have been out there picking up rubbish. So we see here some bags picked up below in West Cork. So you know who you are behind that. Podge, legend. Well done, Podge. And also Mustawis as well, featuring here on this photo. Mustawis picked up a couple of bags of rubbish, as well as what looks like an exhaust pipe off of a car. So I don't know where the hell you were cleaning up, like, but well done. Like, who the hell is dumping exhaust pipes out there, like fucking scumbags? But just goes to show, like, you know, the benefits that we as cannabis consumers can have in our communities. Getting out there, cleaning up the streets and doing many other good things. Some of the things I was doing in my own community, I was volunteering with the local football club here, helping out with the nursery group. I wasn't able to wear a cannabis vest, obviously, above there, like, but at the same time, I was representing the cannabis community in the work that I was doing, in that I'm a cannabis consumer, and that if I was to be locked up, arrested, then I wouldn't be able to do that stuff. Well, the fact that I'm criminalised now actually means that I'm not able to do that because of Garda vetting. But do you know what, guys? Keep on getting out there and showing the world the good things that we do in our community. The Tidy Buds just being one of the many great contributions we make to our communities. So well done again to the Tidy Buds, guys. Take a bow. Well deserved praise there for you. I see that the posts up on Reddit and other places as well, Twitter and things like that as well, are being incredibly well received. So well done to you. I hope to see a social media account there up and running very soon, so you can centralise your efforts and recruit new volunteers to get out there into their communities and to do their part as well in cleaning up, but also just showing what good we as cannabis consumers can do in our community as well. And most importantly, show that we are not criminals. We're not. We're good people. We want to be law-abiding people, but the law doesn't respect us, so therefore we don't respect the law. That was a new quote I came across there earlier on today, and that was a quote coming from an ex-French president, is he, or an economist? Jeez, I'm just trying to find his name here now. Baptiste, I believe was his name. But his quote, I have to find it, jeez. Oh, come on, where is it? Oh my God, I can't believe I've lost that now. Damn it. But he says, in order for, and I'm paraphrasing here because I can't find the exact quote and the name of the guy, but he says, in order for a law to be respected, it must first be respectful. That is not the case for cannabis laws. The cannabis laws are not respectful of the people in our community. So therefore the citizens are stuck between a tough place where they're like torn between the morals of following the law but doing the right thing for themselves as well. And that shouldn't be the case. So again, the name there is eluding me, but I know it's going to come up there in one of the stories later on. Because that's where I sourced it from. But we drive on, guys. So well done again to the Tidy Buds. And before I drive on, actually, guys, I think I'm going to blaze up. I think I'm going to blaze up an old bowl in your honour, guys. You know, an old 420 civil disobedience protest there for you. And not before highlighting as well. Do you know, I have a little plaster here on my arm. And that plaster is actually covering up what was quite a large wart that I had growing on my arm that started there maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, and I never treated it, and it kind of kept growing and growing. I started treating it last week, and it's after shrinking now by, I would imagine, over 2/3 it's after shrinking by. At first it kind of just formed a dead layer of skin over the top of it, and that just has fallen off now, and it reduced in size by over 2/3. Guess what I'm using on this, guys? So again, just trying to get this up on screen. What I'm using on that is cannabis oil. Yes, a drop of cannabis oil on the back of a plaster. Place that plaster over the wart for just over a week now, and I'm after seeing over a 2/3 reduction in the size of that wart that was growing there on my arm. So again, you know, simple application of a cannabis oil, a blend of organic coconut oil with an extract taken from the cannabis plant. No specific cannabis plant was used either. Like it was just what I had on hand. I made a full spectrum extract using isopropyl alcohol, blended that with some organic coconut oil, and hey presto, I've got myself a homemade wart remover. So there you go, guys. Just a little DIY project that I done myself, and it's proving wonders there as well. So definitely try that if you've got any kind of annoying little skin growths there in the form of warts. Treat it with a little bit of cannabis oil, and it might clear up before you know it. And as I say, like I'm seeing it's close to a 2/3 reduction in less than 2 weeks. Like so a serious turnaround there. And also, guys, just would like to give a shout out there to Shannon. Thank you, Shannon, who was after hooking me up with today's smoke for the show. Thank you, Shannon hooked me up with a nice bag of strawberry haze there at the start of the week, just over the weekend. Had a nice chat with him, so blaze that one up there to yourself. Thank you, Shannon, and also to the boys at the Tidy Buds. So nice one again. Thank you, Shannon, for hooking us up with that. Thank you, Shannon, and said if anybody else out there would like to get hooked up with some flour from himself, shoot me a message and I'll give you the new Snapchat addy there for thank you, Shannon. Obviously not operating under the same name. That account got pulled before apparently, but do give me pop me a message there, and we'll be able to hook you up. Not too sure if he's offering a discount there for listeners of the show, but I'll have a word with him there later on and see what we can work out. So we drive on, guys, because in other news here in Ireland, there has been a recall of CBD products by the Food Safety Authority of Ireland. Why? Because they contain too much THC. I was actually only talking about this with a reporter there yesterday from the Irish Mirror, very nice reporter as well, who was talking about, the reporter was telling me that she was looking into using cannabis oil, CBD oil specifically, in order to help with the pain caused by TMJ, tendral meningitis or something like that. TMJ is to do with the jaw anyway, deterioration of the muscles in the jaw. And I was talking about her and I was like recommending, make sure you get a product that's full spectrum and it has some level of THC, because all of the research that's out there with CBD products and relieving pain shows that CBD combined with THC is the way to go. The ratios vary in the different studies, but it definitely shows, it's been shown that full spectrum CBD is more effective than 0% THC CBD products. So quite interesting having that conversation yesterday, and not off the phone, and more than an hour, and this pops up on my radar, the recall by the FSAI in Ireland, because some of the products had too much THC, really, like too much. Come on, like. The products are not meant to, according to the Food Safety Authority of Ireland, they're not meant to have actually any THC, because THC is a narcotic controlled by the Misuse of Drugs Act, albeit there is an allowance of THC under European food safety law, but that is specifically for hemp seed oil. It has nothing to do with these CBD products at all, so these products are not actually even included in that, so therefore they actually have no tolerable level of THC in them. It's at 0%. The 0.2% is for growing cannabis in a field. If you want to grow under Irish laws, that's where the 0.2% comes into it. When it comes to CBD products on the shelves in Ireland, according to the FSAI, they should have no THC in there, because THC is a toxic contaminant and it shouldn't be there. So the products pictured here are the products implicated within the recall. There's efforts now to make sure that these products are going to be removed from the shelves, and that customers who would have bought them can return them to the stores. and they'll be disposed of. Do you know, come on, like, stop wasting taxpayers' money here and all of this, and just open up the cannabis market once and for all so people can get access to whatever ratio of THC, CBD, CBN, CBG, do you know, you name whatever it is they want. Just give the people access to it and protect the consumers by ensuring the quality of the supply. Stop with this fucking cat and mouse BS, like, at the moment, where we're wasting taxpayers' hard-earned money on this silly prohibition. So again, this is just one of many recalls by the Food Safety Authority over the last couple of years, and I'm suspecting it's not going to be the end of it either. Like, you know, again, people want THC in their product. The amount of THC in these products, it's negligible. You're not even going to get high off of them. Like, none of them are over 1%. Like, it's all tiny traces of THC being found in the products. Like, they're actually not even indicating how much of the THC was detected in it. They're just saying that unsafe levels of delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol were detected in certain batches of CBD products, and they were being immediately recalled. So again, as I said, like, 0% is what they regard as being safe. So if it's anything over 0, then it's unsafe in terms of safety from the FSAI. What a waste of time and money again, like, you know. But again, this won't be the end of this. We're going to see more and more of these products. It says here that it said that CBD products which contain THC of under 0.2% should not be treated as narcotics. However, in Ireland, if CBD products contain THC in any quantities, they are considered controlled drugs. That's coming straight from the FSAI there as well. Like, so, it'll be interesting to see where this all goes and how it plays out. You know, we have Little Collins in the courts here in Ireland. They put up a tweet there only recently as well, that if they're to lose their High Court battle, that they're going to cease and desist their operations here in Ireland immediately. I was just kind of taken a bit back by that. I was just like, oh, so if you lose at the High Court, you're not going to appeal it, you're not going to fight on, you're not going to bring it to the European courts, you're just going to admit defeat at that point. Yeah, it's got me thinking, really, like, you know. I'm very much considering now at the moment, maybe going forward and open up a business here in Ireland, in Cork, and just going forward and selling CBD products, and pushing the boundaries a little bit, and using all of the proceeds to help fight for cannabis legalisation in Ireland. That might be the primary focus of it, but at the same time then afford me an opportunity to give that activist hub here in Cork that I've been so longing to set up. So again, you know, it's just bringing the idea now to the forefront, and it might be something that I might act upon very soon, sooner than expected anyway. So watch this space. So we drive on and we go to the next case in Ireland. And it's one that many of you have actually sent me in my messages, and it's the case of the pensioner, the Evelyn Corrigan, who is 68 years of age, and was caught growing cannabis 4 years ago. 4 years ago, she got caught with cannabis, over 300 grams of cannabis. And she's been now going through a court case, which just recently ended yesterday, I believe it was, or Monday actually. This ended, and after 4 years, she's been acquitted of the possession of cannabis for sale and supply. What's going on, Marie? Marie is saying a no volume. Can anyone else confirm there that you've lost the volume? Or is it just Marie? What's going on? Marie, make sure your phone is turned up just in case. Yeah, Adrian Idis is saying all good there as well. But thanks, Marie, anyway. Like, hopefully it's maybe just your phone there anyway. Maybe not all people there over on Facebook. But again, this is the case of Evelyn Corrigan, who got caught 4 years ago, the 11th of December 2017, and she denied selling the cannabis, argued she was using it to make medicine to treat her pain. And it's she suffered with glaucoma and also artery spondyloitis. Jeez, I'm struggling to pronounce this one here. She's blind. Yeah, she has glaucoma and a spinal stenosis. That's what it was. Glaucoma and spinal stenosis. That's what she suffers with. Obviously, glaucoma is shown to be benefited with cannabis, but also the spinal spondylosis. I'd imagine that's causing the pain there, which obviously shown to be beneficial from cannabis too. But she was dragged through the courts for over 4 years because she grew her own cannabis. What did she grow? She grew Frisian Jew. Frisian Jew is a cannabis strain, and I have it up on screen there. I'll show it for you now. Boom, there you go. It's a strain sold by Dutch Passion. So Frisian Jew. It's an outdoor variety, and it's good to be grown here in Ireland. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, guys. And they got pretty decent prices there as well. A 10 pack of these seeds is only going to cost you 60 quid. And apparently, Evelyn here only grew 3 of these cannabis plants outdoors in Ireland. The pensioner was actually dragging them indoors and outdoors. She would bring them in at night time to protect them from the cold and bring them out again early in the morning to benefit from the sunshine, the limited sunshine we would get here in Ireland. So fair play to her, like, and she pulled in a nice old yield, like over 100 grams per plant she managed to obtain. So you'd imagine, like, you have to look at that 60 quid there for 10 seeds, and each of those seeds potentially could bring you over 100 grams of cannabis. That's quite a savings, considering how much you would be paying for the cannabis out there right now at the moment. Like, so is it in your own interest there to be growing that? And look at it, it's a lovely looking plant, in fairness, like lovely purple colours there, which would be especially pronounced here in Ireland once you get into the colder months in flowering. It's known that cold temperatures produce the purple colouring, and the darker colouring here as well, also seen in the plant. But why wouldn't you do it, like, and fair play to her for doing it, like, and after she's been dragged through the courts anyway, she's not going to be sent to prison, but she got, like, kind of, you know, she was stressed over it. Like, of course you're going to be stressed over it. In the closing speeches in the courts, James Dwyer, defending her, asked the jury if his client looked like a drug dealer to them. Is it suggested she was walking up and down the square in Tallaght to sell it? Is this Breaking Bad meets Golden Girls, he asked, following the trial in the Dublin Circuit Court. Judge Pauline Codd dismissed the charge of drug possession under the Probation Act, and during the trial, Sergeant Gerard O'Brien confirmed to the Joseph prosecuting that 8 jars of what turned out to be cannabis were found in spare bedrooms in the house during a search, and weighing scales was also discovered at the property. Miss Corrigan immediately admitted that she was telling the Gardaí at the scene it was for my glaucoma and I have emphysema, and she denied selling it. But if that was, like, again, myself, yourself, if you suffer with chronic pain, like myself, I definitely say that my quality of life has improved. I like to use cannabis as a prophylactic, and it is for medicinal reasons. If I was to be caught growing cannabis, if I had 8 jars of cannabis and a weighing scales, would I be afforded the same opportunity? A bit of ageism going on here, but I'm glad to see it. Like, you know, I'm glad to see this woman not have to go to prison for it. But again, you know, she's been forced now since this to be going back onto conventional treatments for her for the conditions which she suffers, which is very unfair. She was benefiting from cannabis. The cannabis was helping her. Why is she being denied it now? Especially when we're seeing how cannabis is benefiting other patients, not just here in Ireland, but across the world. You look in America, where patients with very similar conditions here to Evelyn are benefiting tremendously. Now, in this, in respect of this of this kind of treatment at the law, Evelyn is no longer growing cannabis. But thank God Evelyn has come out now and is calling for cannabis to be legalised, and she's going to speak out there and to use her experience to raise awareness as to the suffering caused by the prohibition of cannabis. She was speaking there with with a journalist from the Irish Mirror, and she's called for cannabis to be legalised for people with pain in Ireland. So I'd imagine she would be supporting the Bring Alicia Home hashtag. But it's again another highlighting the failure of prohibition in Ireland, the creation of a criminal who isn't a criminal. It's a woman looking to be free from pain. If you want to be free from pain, and the act in which you have to go and do so makes you a criminal, again, you go back to the quote there that I was trying to pull from my hair. So who actually said it? That French bloody economist. But when your morals, you're torn between doing right by not breaking the law, but also doing right by yourself and reducing your suffering. Evelyn didn't believe what she was doing was actually a crime, if you could believe that. I don't know. But she kind of argued that in court. And she also made other arguments there when the cops were mixing up our cannabis. They mixed the leaves with the buds. And again, it goes to show the cops, they don't even know what they're doing. They just weigh all of this stuff up and treat it as if it's one. You hear cases of them out there weighing the stems and even the roots of plants at times. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I will make efforts there to see if I can get Evelyn on the podcast to have a chat with her. I'd love to follow up and have a good conversation there as to our experience at the hands of the law, going through the courts and all of that stuff, because I'd imagine she has a story to tell. 4 years of waiting, that's 4 years of stress and anxiety that no person should have to go through in order to free themselves of pain and to maybe reduce the glaucoma. And it is shown that cannabis is an incredibly beneficial product to be consuming if you suffer with pain or glaucoma. So again, I send my regards out there to you, Evelyn. I'm sorry to hear of the suffering that you've gone through. If there's anybody out there who has a contact for Evelyn, or if you know her firsthand, let her know. I would love to have a conversation with her, and I wholeheartedly support her calls there for cannabis to be legalised too. That's no secret at all. But definitely, it's great to see more people out there as well raising this straight away. I see it taken off across the hashtag. Evelyn. It's see people tweeting it and all of that stuff. So it's great to see support there across the board. We drive on to other cases. Back to Cork we go, where a man has been charged with dealing cannabis out of Passage West in Cork. And in this case, it wasn't stated how much cannabis was actually seized here, but this is a case of a 50-year-old man below in Cork, in Passage in Cork, where Detective Garda John Sheedy charged Ian Hanlon after he was caught in possession of cannabis and having the drug for selling and supply at the Strand Road, Glenbrook, Passage West on May 31st, 2019. So again here, another case that's gone over 2 years through our courts. Guess what? It's not over yet. Judge Olin Kelleher adjourned the case again on an application of the Sergeant Pat Lyons for 2 months to allow for time for directions to be obtained from the Director for Public Prosecutions on the direction to be taken in this. So what a waste of time here again. So the only reason I'm including this in today's news, again, is just to highlight the waste of time and resources here. You have the judges, the solicitors, the Gardaí and the accused all having to show up in court just for it to be adjourned for another 2 months. What in the name of God are they waiting for? Why you have the DPP not issued direction already? This was a case that started back in 2019. Surely, the guy gets caught back in 2019. It's either the guy is done for dealing or not. Why is it taking 2 years to figure this out? How much time, effort and resources has actually gone into these cases? I'm definitely going to start issuing some freedom of information to see what is available actually, and as to what information you can get as to man hours that go into these cases. A case that goes on for 2 years, even the case of Evelyn Corrigan, You know, how much time and Garda resources was actually expended in order to bring her through the courts, you know, from start to finish, including all of the guards that were there through any operations, but right up before even the raid took place. Because you could imagine before the raid took place, they have to be operating on some intelligence. They have to go and apply for the warrant to the judge. That all takes time. So even the judge's time to hear the case, to sign the warrant, you know, and then to hear the case again after the raid is carried out, that's all paid for by me and you. Like, is this money well spent by taxpayers? Like, and I'd really love to know the statistics behind that. Like, how much time is actually being wasted? How much resources are actually being spent on this failed war on drugs? And again, like another 2 months now, like, and then we go from this case, and I think is very relevant to the next case, where the DPP again has been given 2 weeks to give direction in a Cork's drugs case before it is struck out. I brought this up, was it last week or the week before, where the defendant here was the man who got caught with €140,000 worth of cannabis at one of these COVID checkpoints in the lower in Glanmire, I believe it was actually, just off of the main road coming into Cork. This person has been waiting for direction to be given for the DPP, and again they failed to do so, and now they've been given 2 weeks or else the case is going to be struck out. What's the crack here? Why haven't they given the direction? Are they just overwhelmed with cases at the moment because of all the free time of the cops now has allowed them to focus more on people who use drugs, you know, with these COVID checkpoints and all of this Operation Terra? Are they just overwhelmed now and they're not able to even keep up with their own paperwork? And now cases are at risk of being struck out, you know, because of this failure to be able to keep up with the demand for their work. If that demand is there, you know, if the pressures are so grave that they can't even give directions, they're like, well, what does this mean for cases of burglary, you know, rape, you know, pedophilia, and all of these other cases that the DPP might be handling, you know? I'd have to wonder, you know, and again, speak as to the failure of prohibition and the mess it causes for our society. We cannot afford to keep this in place. Like, prohibition causes more problems than it ever solved. It's solved nothing really in essence. Like, it hasn't. Like, can you tell me anything it actually has achieved? Anything positive? I can certainly point out many negatives it achieved, but anything positive prohibition has actually achieved, I can't see any. But you know, maybe some of you out there can. But this €140,000 worth of cannabis again, like, you know, we want this here. I would love to be able to buy cannabis. Like, I have cannabis right here, right now. Taking this off the street has not prevented me access. Shout out to Danke Shandon. But you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, allow for people like, again, the Danke Shandons out there to set up legitimate businesses, pay people legitimate wages, protect consumers by putting regulations in place that ensure the quality of the product. And you know, there's so many benefits, like, to be listed, rather than wasting the time of the Gardaí, who, imagine, like, when you want to be a guard, like, you want to do good, you want to be protecting people. Who are you protecting here in this? Like, you're not protecting anybody at all in the work that they're doing, enforcing the prohibition of cannabis. It's absolutely ridiculous, like. So again, like, more wasted time and money going on, you know, and yeah, definitely, like, all the domestic violence that's happened because they didn't want to answer the phones. Like, you're bang on, Podge. Like, you know, the public are very well aware of the failings of the Gardaí. They love to go out there and enforce this prohibition because, again, as I say, the way in which they benefit off of this is it's what's perpetuating it. It's allowing it to continue because these cops can go in front of cameras. You know, you have your sergeants, you have the chief fucking the commissioner guy, you know, and he gets to go on and he talks about, you know, we seized this many hundreds of kilos, this many hundreds of millions seized, in value of the drugs. We've arrested this many people, put them behind bars. It's all statistics and numbers that they want in order to kind of pertain this illusion that they're doing something good, but they're not. All of these numbers, all of these statistics, all it really represents is actually a failure of the prohibition from the supplying of the drugs, because what they're actually seizing is only a shadow. It's only a pale shadow of what's actually reaching the market, and it's failed opportunity then in the part of the regulators to step in and to protect the consumers of the various substances that have been banned for so long, under this model of prohibition. The time is coming, guys. There is change on the horizon. I'll forever be the optimist anyway on this issue, and I definitely do believe in the power of the people out there. There is more people calling for change on these issues. There is more people now joining in this and speaking out. You have the youth workers against prohibition, like over 100 youth workers. They're now calling on the decriminalisation of all drug users. And I believe the regulation of all drugs as well. I don't know. Am I putting words into their mouths there or what in that? But definitely, it's definitely welcoming to see so many more people speaking up in this issue. We're definitely calling for the right change. We're going in the right direction. So come on, guys. More and more of you need to get out of the closet now and join the conversation, join the efforts to bring about change, so we can end this massive waste that's currently going on and the oppression of so many good people out there in our society. The oppression of fucking pensioners, who they're crying for what? Wanting to be free of pain. Yeah, get into prison there, you dirty old criminal, because you wanted to be free of pain and you wanted to do it without using our approved drugs. Drugs that are going to make you like an old zombie, you know what I mean? That's what they want. They want a zombie nation. Out there, no offense, zombie. but you know what I mean? Why can't you go heal yourself naturally? Why is the freedom of the individual being taken away? Why is your choice being why are you allowing your rights to be taken away so freely, so easily, in order to put in place this prohibition that's failed at its objectives since its inception? Prohibition of drugs, it's been around for fucking decades. It's not ever successfully prevented drugs from reaching the consumers. It's not. But we afforded the right then to take away our rights. No, let's end this. Stand up, speak up, guys, or forever, allow this to continue. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Remember that, guys. Come on, let's make some noise. Let's do it peacefully. Shout out to Tidy Buds, campaigns like that. We're going in the right direction. I definitely can see it changing on the horizon soon. And we just have to keep this momentum going and keep the pressure on. That's for sure. So we drive on, guys, because while I'm always being very optimistic and I'm trying to drive things right in the right direction, in Barcelona, sadly, we have some negative news there to report on the cannabis clubs over in Barcelona. They're facing closure now after a legal setback there. And this is where 200 cannabis clubs are now facing closure after the Supreme Court shut the legal loophole that was seen the city become Spain's cannabis capital. It is the latest in a series of setbacks for the Asociaciones, as they're popularly known. In the 2017, the court overruled a law passed by the Catalan Parliament which said private consumption of cannabis by adults is part of the exercise of the fundamental right to free personal development and freedom of conscience. So again, guys, pay attention there. The people of Spain were using their constitutional rights, your human rights. All of us have the same ones too. So again, it's up to us to exercise them, to stand up and challenge the laws. Unfortunately, that's taken a hit now and a bit of a setback, but it's not over yet. I believe that there's definitely a fire in the belly of the Spanish activists over there, campaigners, and I look forward to seeing their next move after this decision. But since the 2017 ruling, the clubs have operated under the Barcelona city bylaw that regulated their use, but this too has now been overturned, with the judges ruling that the city authorities were not competent to legislate on matters governed by the state. The majority of the associations assume that sooner or later they'll be forced to close down, and that's coming from the spokesman of the Federation of Catalan Cannabis Associations, Eric Asensio. And about 70% of Spain's cannabis clubs are in Catalonia, and the majority are in Barcelona. The city, which supports the association's quasi-legal status, has informed them that the latest ruling prohibits the sale, consumption or promotion of cannabis. It said it would soon be inspecting the clubs, starting with the ones with the most negative impact and which are which are geared towards tourists and massive sales. So again, a big blow there to the community, but I do look forward to seeing hopefully a big response there from the campaigners on the ground, because they were setting they were heading the right direction. It was up for the state really to step in and put proper regulations in place, and to put proper taxes and all of this stuff in place to remove the criminal element of it. You know, there was a journal in the Guardian about 9 months ago or something that was really trying to be derogatory towards the cannabis associations over there, hinting at like a lot of them being linked to criminals and all of this stuff. Like, but really, like, it was hard for them to legitimize themselves and to distance themselves from the criminals when the national government wouldn't allow for their existence. You know, they were operating under these kind of grey areas, these bylaws and stuff like that. But now, you know, it's sadly it's back in the campaigners' ground now. The ball is back in the campaigners' field to see how they respond and how they adapt to these changes. I really do hope that they don't go out of existence and that they just step it up and stand the ground and fight for their rights. You know, the right to privacy, the right to freedom of association, and you know, as I just, you know, I think that it's not over yet here for them anyway. That's for sure. So I will, again, I'm looking at making some efforts to travel over there and meet with some of the activists over there on the ground. So shout out to Stephen Garland, who I might make a short trip with to head over there after the picnic in the park here in Cork. So if anybody else wants to get in on that, just pop me a message. That's soon to happen. Heading over to Barcelona. So we'll drive on from there, guys, while some negative news in Barcelona in terms of cannabis. In Canada, we go to, there's very positive news, and it's a very positive reflection too of the cannabis community. And that's that cannabis pre-rolls sales are soaring in after Canadians are sharing more joints, sharing joints less, during the pandemic. So again, how I mean that this is a positive reflection as the cannabis community is that we're doing our part to help curb the spread of the COVID disease, in that we're not passing the joint, you know, the puff pass. It's kind of like, no, guys, it's PCs now, and maybe have an old alcohol wipe there to sanitize bongs and stuff like that, to give them a little sterilizing just before you pass it, like, you know. It's nice to be sanitary about these things as well, and it's always good to be helping, you know, just curb the spread of this disease during the pandemic. So it's very welcome news, and I do think it's a very positive reflection of the community, because a lot of the times the community gets painted as a bit of a kind of a tinfoil hat, conspiracy driven, government hating group, but you know, it's like, no, we're very widely and diverse. You know, while I don't agree with some of the measures of the government and all of that stuff at the moment, I definitely do agree with some of the, like, just simple kind of things, like, yeah, wash your fucking hands, guys. Like, seriously, like, I'm not using your hand gels at the doors, like, no, like, I'll wash my hands and stuff like that, and I'll be cautious about what I'm touching and bits and pieces like that. But at the same time, like, yeah, like sharing joints, like, it's probably not wise. But in saying that, like, I've shared a joint the other night with Russell, like, and I hope you don't mind me saying that, Russell, like, but at the same time, like, I trust Russell, like, I made an educated guess, and we're just like, if Russell contracts COVID, I'm sure I'm going to find out very soon, and it's like, you know, but at the same time, like, you know, very positive reflection of the community. Missed opportunity there as well, for Spain, for the regulators over there, because they can't track or trace any of the numbers over in Spain. If you were to ask the Spanish government how many pre-roll joints are sold through the Cannabis Asociaciones, they wouldn't be able to tell you, because it's probably not tracked. They don't have the data. So missed opportunity, guys. Do you know what I mean? That's what prohibition gets you. What's happening, Anthony? What's going on? Annie says, hi Martin Bud, keep up the great work you're doing from the English Murphy. Nice one for that, Anthony, man. Your support of the show there is greatly appreciated. Thanks, man. Really do appreciate that. Get an old swig of water in there as well. So we drive on there from that, guys, because while Canada is seeing the sales of their pre-roll joints soaring, we go to Arizona. We're in Arizona. They're after opening up the first cannabis-friendly hotel. Very positive news there, like very welcome news then as well, because cannabis and tourism is certainly going to be on my radar anyway as well. Like again, I definitely will be looking, if I'm to get when I'm planning a wedding or anything like that, I will definitely be looking to have a cannabis themed wedding. That is for sure. So traveling to a destination where cannabis is going to be legal and tolerated is going to be essential for that day out. So to see a hotel now in Arizona, it's called the Clarendon Hotel and Spa. So a very nice hotel as well, in fairness, but will definitely be parting with my hard-earned cash to an establishment such as this. Once I decide to maybe tie that knot and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, you know what I mean? Great opportunity there. Definitely an opportunity to create more jobs, bring more revenue in for the state there. And there's definitely going to be more businesses such as this popping up. I definitely know that there is places like this popping up in Las Vegas as well, and also in the Emerald Triangle above there in Humboldt as well. I've seen reports there of Bud and Breakfast. That's a website that's up there, but they're seeing more and more listings there now for hotels and finer establishments where cannabis is being allowed in and tolerated. So in the Clarendon Hotel there, the Clarendon Hotel, if you wanted to get cannabis, they will offer it delivered to your door within 30 minutes. 30 minutes, literally, just bring up a reception and it'll come from one of their local owned cannabis dispensaries that is very nearby. They don't sell any cannabis actually within the hotel itself, but it can be ordered to you as well. And not only that, but actually if you ring them up and you want to go to the dispensary yourself, they'll have a car there to bring you. They'll offer a car to bring you, and not only bring you, but collect you and bring you back as well. Exceptional service, like, do you know what I mean? Top fucking class, like high quality. Yes. But yeah, definitely high quality services there coming out of the Clarendon Hotel. So I look forward to a day in Ireland when we will be able to offer bud and breakfast, you know. Maybe I might be able to open up a Cork cannabis farm there where we're growing sun-kissed organic cannabis under lovely glass houses, maybe out in the North Cork region or out around Grenagh or something like that. But be able to open up a boutique resort as well, a spa, where you can come and walk amongst the lovely forests there around the foothills of Ballihora, not too far away there, or even in the more closer the Ballyhooly forest there, wooded areas as well, you know what I mean? Great potentials, isn't there? You listen to me file to Ireland, come on guys, get the finger out. You're missing out on an emerald opportunity, a green opportunity. It certainly is a green opportunity. So well done, guys. I hope to see something like that here soon in Ireland. So we drive on from Arizona and we go to New Mexico to revisit a story from a Monday, where on Monday we were speaking about the speakeasy souvenir shop. It was a souvenir shop where you went in and you bought some souvenirs. They would gift you some cannabis. And basically, this was a store that was brought about because there isn't any regulations in place yet to allow for cannabis to be sold to adults in New Mexico. But the speakeasy store owners, they thought that they had a loophole around it. But unfortunately, the Cannabis Control Division in New Mexico have come down on them and have issued them a cease and desist order against the gifting of cannabis with their souvenirs from the shop. So I don't know what's going on there now as to how the store is going to go ahead. It seems like, look, it's the Cannabis Control Division have the right to shut them down because they kind of control cannabis. And they are making money. Well, it is a legal grey area, like these guys, it seems that they're able to step in. But again, look, this is what regulation, it shows it's working in a sense. Like the setting up the Cannabis Control Division, it's actually regulating, it's controlling it in how it's supposed to be done. In maybe in about another couple of months' time, the guys who own Speakeasy will actually be able to go forward, get a license and set up and open up a proper retail store. But until then, there is no legal avenue for them to go down it. So unfortunately, they're not able to operate in the way in which they were. So they have been shut down since then. Yeah, whether they will continue to do it, it's yet to be reported on. So that's unfortunate development there in that one. It would have been great to see the guys being able to continue and see their business kind of continue to flourish. That's the business of it's owned by Jason Estrada and Joseph Garza. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they will go forward. I've also sent out messages to both of the mentioned individuals there to see if they'll come on and have a chat about their efforts to set up their business with me on the podcast. So we'll see how that goes there. Maybe it might be a good old interview coming up to you in the not too distant future. So we go from New Mexico then, guys, and we drive on over to Missouri. So in Missouri, a medical cannabis patient who was out on probation has been sent back to prison after testing positive for THC. Very unfortunate development there in this case. This is a case of a man by the name of Ray Brer. Ray Brer is 29 years of age, and he was recently released from prison on the 23rd of June after he was sent there for testing positive for THC. But he tested positive while holding a legal license to be a cannabis patient, a medical cannabis patient. When he was released, it was very emotional and stuff, and he was actually given out to because they were holding up the area. Him himself and the family made a very emotional get together. Unfortunately, there was no videos of that. But while he was in prison, he missed the birth of his son. And to me, like, fucking, I'm kind of glad that there's no videos of that. Like, it's even hard just to read that out, like, and to imagine what that must feel like, to miss the birth of your son over the fucking herb, like, you know what I mean? This, like, absolutely shocking, like. So again, I made efforts there to reach out to Ray Brer to see if he can come on and have a conversation about what that was like and how he suffered through that and how he felt to be behind bars during the birth of his son. But it's absolutely ridiculous. He was caught with cannabis initially back in August 2019 and was sent to prison for a short spell as a result of that. And after getting out of prison, he obtained the legal license then to be a medical cannabis patient, as it is his constitutional right in Missouri. But after the cannabis test came back positive for THC, the probation officer sent him to prison. And what's ridiculous about this is because there's many patients out there whose probation officers actually respect it. But unfortunately for Ray Brer, he had a probation officer that still had the war on drugs mentality that's still very much reminiscent there within the authorities over there. you know. And yeah, Ray Blair, the courts told him it was a privilege to be on probation, and that in the future they are most likely not going to offer probation to medical cannabis patients, which again is very discriminatory. Blair was one of the many drug war prisoners in the Show Me State supported by the Canna Convict Project, CCP, which brought in expert witnesses to help sway his case. So these guys were helping support Ray Blair and other parolees who were sent back to prison because of being medical cannabis patients. So he's not alone in this, like absolutely ridiculous. But the Cannabis Convict Project said that their probation parole and DOC is not recognising a patient's ability to medicate while on supervision, and that their mission is to assist our non-violent Missouri cannabis inmates, prisoners, POWs, we call them, with their exit from incarceration and assisting them with their re-entry needs. And that was coming from Christiana Fromer, the co-founder of the Canna Convict Project. So the CCP is fighting for the rights of the many impacted patients across the state to be allowed to access their medicine, even though cannabis is widely recognized medicinal uses. Many Missouri law enforcement and probation officers still view it as the devil's narcotic, as an assumption being challenged in the courts. And a lot of this is coming from cannabis not being federally recognised as well. I suppose it has to be what we mentioned there. Fingers crossed the bill there around the federal decriminalisation might have some positive effects. But it goes on to say that it isn't just those already in the justice system who get in trouble either. In November 2019, 48-year-old Jamie Wilson was pulled over with his grandson by a highway patrol trooper while driving through Davies County. The officer found 8 ounces of cannabis in his trunk, in the truck, and which was within the limits he was allowed as a card-carrying cannabis patient. But Wilson was arrested for possession and child endangerment. The charges were later dropped, thankfully, but it goes to show the drug war mentality that still persists within the authorities there in the state. Cannabis was only recently legalised there for medical use, as in November 2018, 65% of the state voted and approved an amendment to the Constitution, which states that the possession of cannabis shall not subject the possessor to arrest, criminal or civil liberty or sanctions, provided that the possessor produces on demand to the appropriate authority a valid qualifying patient identification card, a valid qualifying patient cultivation card, or a valid physician certification while making application for an identification card, or a valid primary caregiver identification card. So many different kind of IDs there one could have, but still nonetheless, like some of the cops out there, you know what I mean, the drugs are bad, and I'm going to send you to prison if I can. They're still out there. Sorry, no. The Canna Convict go on to say here that they identified many more cases of Missourians being locked up for their lawful medication, included those convicted on all sorts of non-drug charges. It is now taking the Missouri authorities to court with the help of the lawyer Timothy Intesimone. But the case is not being filed on behalf of Blair Wilson, but another one of Intesimone's clients. My involvement with CCP was after I met Christina and seeing the work her, Joni and Chris were doing. And that's in Tessimone saying that there. I was highly impressed with the dedication and the devotion of the criminal justice reform, so my office really meshed with the groove of the project. Tessimone said his work is motivated by the desire to give back to others, especially those from poorer communities disproportionately impacted by criminalisation. In testimony says that civil rights is my kind of wheelhouse, and what's the law and what the law's impact is on people that cannot afford attorneys. I grew up very in a very low income roach infested house, mom working multiple jobs to get her associate's degree for a better life. The same people that are disproportionately affected are the same people that may not have a voice to stand up and fight. So a very good motivation there for Intesimon to have. In the United States, cannabis currently lies in a kind of legal purgatory between a confusing array of state laws, some fully legalized and others less so. And in fact, actually, the vast majority of the United States in some form allow cannabis. There's only 2 states now that have no a tolerance of cannabis. I believe that's Idaho and Idaho, and there's another state there as well. And in all the other states, they tolerate either low THC and CBD flowers, or they have adult and medical laws there as well. Can't think of the other state, but only 2 of them now. So again, very positive changing over there. But still, it's going to take the federal change to really bring about change, and criminal expungements as well. These people getting criminalized here for simply medicating and wanting to be free of pain. It's criminal in itself. Really. So we drive on from there, and we go to another positive news story in that the billionaire Charles Koch gives $25 million of his $40 billion fortune to support cannabis legalization. So very welcome news there from this, and hopefully that money is going to be very well spent. But Charles Koch is not the first billionaire either to come forward and support this, but he's not the regular supporter of cannabis legalization either, because he's not a cannabis user in that himself. He's 85 years of age and says that he's only consumed cannabis once, and that was by accident back in the 1980s when he was at a ski resort having a few gins, which he has no problem consuming. And a chef brought out a plate of brownies which he didn't realize were infused with cannabis, and he consumed a few. But he says that he knows many very successful friends of his who are doctors, lawyers, and other incredible professionals in their field who've used cannabis, and it was not detrimental to their careers at all. But instead he talks about how if they were to be caught with cannabis, yes, that would have been detrimental to them, and they wouldn't have been able to excel in their fields as they did. So for that reason, Koch is coming out now and is supporting cannabis legalization, and is putting $25 million forward to help lobby for criminal justice reform and legalization by the end of 2021. So this money will be used to help influence the different policymakers there to help steer the bill, I suppose, that's after being put forward now by Chuck Schumer in a positive direction. But yeah, Koch is definitely very well versed there in the effects of the war on drugs. But he says it should be the individual's choice in that of the choice of what drugs that they consume. Prohibition, he says, is counterproductive and ruins people's lives, creates conflict in society, and is anti-progress. The whole thing never made sense at all to him. And in April, Koch's I hope he's pronouncing it. It's Koch, isn't it? Yeah. His political advocacy group, Americans for Prosperity, joined other organizations to form Cannabis Freedom Alliance, whose members have already started lobbying Congress to help lift America's federal cannabis ban. Sitting at his desk in front of an oil painted of his late father Fred, who founded Koch Industries as an oil and refinery company back in the 1940s, Koch is finally ready to talk about why he is pushing for cannabis legalization. As a staunch libertarian, he sees cannabis prohibition as a basic infringement on personal freedom, as well as a destruction of public policy that adds to America's mass incarceration problem. The US should have learned from the nightmare of alcohol prohibition 100 years ago, And Koch is not alone in his view. Nearly 70% of Americans now believe that cannabis should be federally legal, and currently 18 states allow for the adult use and 37 are legalized medical cannabis, creating an industry that's expected to generate more than 17.5 billion in legal sales last year, and expected to balloon to over 100 billion by 2030. Like, so incredible projections there for the cannabis market, even with the federal prohibition still remaining. And as I say, like, Koch is not alone in the being a billionaire that supports the federal legalization of cannabis. These other billionaires also support it. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, you have Bill Gates up there, Dustin Moskovitz, Bo Wheatley, who also featured on the 420 News in the past, obviously being the chewing gum producer. Sean Parker, Boris Jordan, and also Jay-Z up there as well. So this list is coming off of Forbes of different billionaires who've put their money where their mouth is and are supporting cannabis legalization. So with this much support out there, with this much money behind it, it seems like definitely positive news that cannabis being legalized, at least federally over in America. It could happen, do you know what I mean? It very well could happen. So fingers crossed here anyway, that's for sure, because I definitely do believe if that's to happen before the end of the year, and if we have a cannabis, if we have a citizens assembly here then at the start of next year, guys, guess what? Cannabis is being legalized in Ireland in 2022 for sure. It definitely is. That's my views and opinion anyway. So Sean O'Donovan, get ready, boy. You're going to be gobsmacked because we're going to be releasing a lot of people you've locked up, buddy. And guys, if you want to make that happen, guys, get out there with the pots and pans and start banging, start making noise. Call for the end of the oppression of the cannabis consumers out there, and call for the ending of the cannabis prohibition as well. You know, we are not criminals. Legalize our herb. So we go from the billionaires getting out there and supporting cannabis legalization, guys, to the Olympics, where in the Olympics we have a Dominican baseball player is after being kicked out of the games for testing positive for cannabis. This is the baseball player Diego. Sorry, no, I'm just going to get his surname. Boom. Oh, apologies there. Diego Garras. So Diego Garras, he was the starting third baseman, and he got booted from the games last Saturday after his test for drugs came back positive for cannabis. He was on the Dominican Republic's Olympics baseball team, and he's after getting a 3-month suspension, guys, and is after being dropped from the roster after testing positive for cannabis. This is the Caribbean Nations Olympic Committee, and its baseball federation said the International Testing Agency informed them that a sample collected from the infielder Diego Garras during June's final qualifying tournament in Mexico tested positive for the cannabis. The replacement, Gabriel Arias, has not joined the team yet, and as a result of that, the team competed then today and they lost. Unfortunately, they lost out 4-3 against the hosting nation, Japan. So very unfortunate result there. You know, this guy wasn't using cannabis as a performance enhancer. Like, come on, like, he wasn't allowed to compete in the Olympic Games. Like, he trained and put in a lot of effort in order to reach that level, in order to be able to compete. And a simple cannabis test, like, the dude could have been fucking sat inside in a car with somebody else who was smoking it. He might have even been smoking it himself, but now he tested positive and he can't even compete. Come on, like, if you're going to test people for drugs, it should be about performance enhancing, and that should be it, that alone. Like, it shouldn't be about enforcing some silly prohibition that shouldn't exist anyway in the first place. And again, this is all going to change. Like, these athletes are going to deserve a massive apology in the next couple of years because of the way in which they were treated now, because the guys in charge, the WADA, the what is it, the World Athletic or World Anti-Doping Association, because these guys have been fucking so slow to just turn around and change things to reflect the changes our society have undergone in the last fucking couple of decades, because their policies are decades old currently. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But we go from like this one case, like, and a very unfortunate case, to the other case that we're all more familiar with probably, which is the track and field star Shah Carey Richardson. Shah Carey Richardson makes the 420 news today because she's now the new face of Beats by Dre. And this was an announcement that was made during the Milwaukee Bucks and Phoenix Suns NBA Finals there recently. And they unveiled that's when they released the commercial from Beats by Dre, which shows that Shah Carey Richardson is now the new face of the headphones Beats. But I actually have a little video there of the ad free play it there for you now. Boom. Gonna pack up a bowl. So it is good to see Shah Carey Richardson getting the support of so many afterwards. It wasn't just Beats by Dre that got behind Shah Carey Richardson after she was banned from taking, or for 30 days only her banning was for. She consumed cannabis after finding out about the passing of her biological mother as well during a press interview, which was ridiculous. I don't know the reason for the banning of the Diego Garces, the guy for the Dominican Republic's baseball team. But I really do hope he receives the same support here now as well that Shah Carey Richardson received, because it wasn't just Kanye West and Beats by Dre who got out behind her. Like, she received support there also from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Kevin Hart, Seth Rogen, many great names out there getting behind Shah Carey Richardson after her very unfair banning for using cannabis to deal with a completely unrelated issue to the sport that she was competing in. So it's absolutely ridiculous that there's more athletes getting banned. But again, you know what I mean? I hope there is others that get behind it, because while Richardson is now the face of the Beats by Dre, she was also offered $250,000 to be the brand ambassador for Dr. Dabber, which is a dabbing rig. I don't know if you know what Dr. Dabber is, if you've ever used Dr. Dabber. I believe we actually gave one out as a prize last year. It was gifted to us by the Puff and Stuff store for the picnic in the park that we actually had last year, that the cops showed up in force for. But yeah, or no, it was the one before that actually. It was the month before that we gifted the Dr. Dabber. But yeah, $250,000 they were going to give her. It's not known if she accepted that offer there from Dr. Dabber, but quite a nice offer. Like, do you know what I mean? Boys, Dr. Dabber, if you want me to be an ambassador over here in Ireland, look, I'll fucking take 420 quid, boys. Throw me 420 quid and a Dr. Dabber, and I'll be your brand ambassador there, boys. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. John finished on a positive one there. I believe that's positive news for Shaq Harry Richardson getting that support there from Dre by Beats. That's a tweet that went up on their post there as well. And I believe that quote there as well is in some way hinting towards like supporting Shaq Harry Richardson and kind of like be you, you know. Because I believe she put out some tweets similar to that as well, using some wording similar to that. So yeah, definitely like it's great to see that support, you know, for these athletes, and I hope it continues. I hope your man Diego also gets some great offers there to come in and support him as well. You know, Dr. Dabber, get out there, boys. Give him an offer as well. Come on, lads. Get behind them. Don't be just chasing the beautiful the beautiful female athletes. Come on, give this dude a break as well. He deserves it. That's for sure. He got a much harsher punishment, like 3 months. Like, do you know what I mean? 90 days, I believe it is. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, come on. Like, I'm sure the guy looks good with his top off as well. That's it, guys. Yeah, that's all of the 420 news I have for you today. I believe that's just about 10 headlines there they've gone through witchy, but I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. Seeing lots of comments coming in there as well, so I hope you had a good time in the hotbox, guys. Let's go back and see what was happening in the hotbox again. I'm limited to seeing what was going on, so I need to see some of your recent comments here. But there, Patrick Corwin saying that yet so many scumbags out there causing other kinds of shite, and guys growing for personal use, having to chop it all down, and the whole draw the gang war meant to be still simmering in the streets. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Like, you know, nobody should be afraid to grow your own, guys. Don't be afraid. Like, win there, argue your case in court. Like, don't be afraid of it, but definitely don't support the organized crime gangs that are out there. Do your homework, know your source and all of that kind of crack. Chilbert UK, but yeah, what's going on, Chilbert? But he didn't mind, lol. Guru Gangster Goat, Texas, question mark. No tobacco state. Actually, that was something I should have mentioned actually about the Cannabis Hotel. There's no tobacco allowed to be consumed in there, guys. So just to let you know, guys, yeah. And that's something I definitely welcome as well, like, because yeah, you don't want to be fucking inhaling that dangerous pesticide. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. But really, yeah, if you want to smoke tobacco with your weed, you're gonna have to do it outside. Man Falls, what's happening? Man Falls says, "Go on, Martin, spread the gospel, share the good news. I bet Jesus would have smoked back in the day, no doubt. Definitely, I definitely would say Jesus would have been partial to the whole herb for sure." Wow, Cottonmouth. Ooh. Other comments coming in there. WRT Gunner, the fans should be ashamed of themselves. Alright, Shy Son. That's coming in from my Mastawes. And Shy Son saying there, story people, I'm sorry I'm late. No apologies needed at all, but you're always welcome to the hotbox. Better late than never. Guru Gangsta Goat, what's happening? Guru Gangsta Goat, awesome stuff, Dr. Dre. And Snoop Dogg approves, that's for sure. Hype as well saying, did you see the guy selling G a Ziploc bag of air from the Donda listening party? No idea what that's about, man. No, did you see a guy selling a Ziploc bag of air from the Donda listening party? No, I didn't. I'm fucking late today, and that's Pods 4420 is late there as well. We're all late, guys. I mean, fucking punctual stoners. Come on, lads. Alright, everyone. Hope all is good. Who else is out there as well? Super hands selling helium weed. It's why it comes in light. Nice. Who else is out there? Hype. My guy must have crossed his stuff with that helium strain as well. All the boys being shorted in their bags out there. The cannabis contains helium these days, apparently. Who else is out there? Zombie Nation saying, made the difference between the last picnic in the park and this one, I bet. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Like, guys, stand your ground. If the cops come, like, do you know what I mean? Just stand your ground. Whoops, my elbow slipped. I won't be bringing my volcano with me, so I won't be trying to hide that this time. But I'll certainly be going straight over to the cops. We'll make sure that we're live there as well. We'll make sure the battery's well charged and everything to go live throughout the entirety of the day. But I don't think the cops should be coming down hassling us at all really on the day. I don't foresee it anyway. But you know they haven't indicated that they will, so let's see. Irish Hemp Harvest, nice one for the support and much appreciated. Irish Hemp Harvest saying, make your voice heard in Cork on the 7th of August. And that's it, guys, power in numbers. If you're all worried at all about expressing your support online or anything like that, definitely come down. There's power in numbers. Come down and join the crowd. Get to know some like-minded people. Great opportunities to network with like-minded people. And to see the diversity that exists out there in our community as well. It is a great diversity. And also, it's a great opportunity to come down and... wrong button. There we go. There's the 7th of August, 2 to 6 p.m. down in the Mardyke Park. But we're going to have a raffle there on the day, guys. So there's going to be a great opportunity to support an amazing charity, the Cork City Missing Person Search and Recovery Group. You'll find our page over on Facebook as well, and Twitter, I think, and Instagram, they might have stuff up on as well. But amazing bunch of volunteers. I know a few of them for a long time, and I think it's a very worthwhile cause for us to support. So we're going to do a fundraiser for them on the day. Again, just to reflect the good things that we can do, the benefits that could be had from ending the prohibition around our community. Because there's a lot of money being lost currently to organised crime gangs and to supporting prohibition. So hopefully we can raise a bunch of money there on the day, make a donation to an incredible charity, and get a few headline or two to cover the kind of the message behind the action. That's the importance of it. I think every penny that we raise on the day is going to contribute to an opportunity to bring attention to two amazing worthwhile causes. One, the Cork City Search and Rescue Group, but two, ending cannabis prohibition. It's a no-brainer. So do definitely get down there and show your support. I'm going to quickly switch on the Bluetooth, guys. If anybody wants to get in a word or two. Boom. The Martin's World hotline is open. 085 816 7420. 085 816 7420. Yes. Nice. Love it. Boom. We're all connected up there now. But if anybody wants to call in and say howdy, or if you're all shy, guys, comment away in the box there. Anyway, we're getting through the comments there, just going through some of the older ones. It's out there. Hype says, just one of them people have to get something extra out of everything. Great crack as always, same Mustawiz, nice one Mustawiz, and Zombie Nation, cheers for that, Martin. I'm back to kitchen fitting now. Good stuff, Zombie. Good to hear you keeping busy out there. Manfall says, I'm too shy, Martin, maybe another time. No bother at all, man. All good, all good. Who else is out there? Shy Son's bouncing. See you later, Shy Son. Hope you're all good. Shy Son says, peace out, people. I'm off. You're all legends. Grow your own. Go on, Shy Son. And what's happening, Lorraine, as well as out there? Story Martin Kid, what's happening? Podge 85, enjoy and stay safe, Martin's World. Podge 85 signing off there as well, and hype as well. I just heard they're cutting it that much here. It has to be kept in the freezer once they press it again. Zombie Nation, Jesus was one of our first famous stoners episodes. Bogwan's son, Burning Bush, you best believe it. Get someone high and they wrote about it. That's for sure. Don't you know that what was it? The Sacred Mushroom, The Cross, by your man, something Allegro. Yeah, very good book anyway. Very well worth reading. But basically, Christianity is a mushroom cult. Yep, definitely. I would agree with that one. Done not a strong dose of mushrooms, but I would definitely agree with it after doing some DMT. Definitely, all religions have their origins in psychedelics. That's for sure. Like, how else are you going to talk to an angel, or a demon, without psychedelics? Ah. Hype saying can't get down, but I would like to buy some tickets and stickers. No bother at all. We'll have to sort out some way in which people can get tickets. I was going to have tickets above at R420 Supplies and at some of the Funky Skunk stores, but I haven't got around to actually arranging that at the moment. But if that is worthwhile doing for people, I can definitely get working on that, and we'll have just over a week of ticket sales then where people can get up there. But again, if you can't make it down to Hype, the only thing you have to do is make sure that you give us your number, so we can contact you should you win. So you're going to have to make sure that you give your number and let them know. So if we do have tickets there at the stores, and if you can't make it down to the picnic on the 7th, pictured on the screen at the moment, guys, you will have to give your number so that we will be able to give you a call, so to let you know that you've won, so we can get you your prize. Again, some of the prizes, R420 Supplies, are going to be putting a hamper together. So I don't know what's in the hamper yet, but it's going to be a kick-ass hamper anyway, I can be assured. But also we have Greenbeard is after donating some lovely grow supplies as well. So we have all the nutrients needed to grow you some top quality herbs. I believe he's throwing in some lovely beans as well, some cannabis seeds. So again, an amazing prize there. We have Irish Hemp Harvest, who are getting behind us as well. I actually have their prize right here, right now, and it's a lovely prize, with a lovely little message attached to it. Yeah, green screen playing tricks on me here again, but you can see what that is. We actually have some 24 karat gold rolling papers in here. Some raw blacks and some raw tips as well, and it's a prize for the cannabis picnic, a show on stream. There you go, Irish Hemp Harvest, guys. Nice one for the prize there. So a lovely prize to be winning. You know, I've never rolled a 24 karat gold rolling paper. So yeah, guys, if you're not in, you can't win. So I'll get in touch there with the different outlets there, Funky Skunk, Cork, Dublin, and R420 Supplies, and we'll get raffle books to each of them. We'll make sure that they're not going to have the same book at each of them, so that we don't have duplicate tickets out there. That'll be a disaster. But yeah, we'll make sure that there's spots there you can support this very worthwhile fundraiser, guys. I could actually even up the PayPal. I believe you can send money through PayPal, and say you're sending it as a friend to a friend. There's no fees attached to it, and then that way I'll be able to just you donate all of that money then as well there from PayPal that comes in. But you just have to make sure you put in a note somewhere, like your number, or email me. I'm not too sure. I don't know how that works. I think you can give a message there through the PayPal when you're sending it. But yeah, We'd have to do that. We'll work something out, all right. I'll have to figure out how the PayPal thing works. I still don't know really how that works, how you send money to people, and what you can do there. But we can definitely work out something there as well if you can't get by to any of those stores and you would still like to take part. So yeah, decent. We'll work on that there. Who else is out there? What comments are coming in? Pods 4420. Hope to if I can get down to for the 7th. Back on the buildings, so could be working that day. Not sure. Oh no, man. Hopefully you can get that Saturday off. Anyway, fingers crossed for our pods. Otherwise, there's going to be more opportunities, pods. We won't be stopping in August. As I say, we have to keep this ball rolling. We have to keep banging this drum. So there'll be more events coming. So plenty more opportunities to mingle with some very like-minded people and to protest and have your voice heard. I am Toby. Perhaps you would be fitting meeting Nan's new kitchen at Zombie Nation. Good. It's a very small world. Man falls. They crucify Jesus because he smoked the burning bush. Don't believe the propaganda. Zombie Nation, depends where your nan is. Facebook is full of angels and demons. Coming in from Zombie Nation. And Pods is complimenting the prize there from Irish Hemp Harvest as well. Great prize that. I believe that's what you were complimenting anyway. It could have been one of the other great prizes that I listed there as well. But that's not even all of the prizes, guys. Funky Skunk, I've yet to figure out what the Funky Skunk are going to be giving as a prize. I don't know, will the guys above in Dublin's Funky Skunk actually give a separate prize as well? And there could be a couple of others might get on board there as well with giving some more prizes before Saturday comes around. So definitely it's going to be one to be in. And tickets will be €2 each, guys, or you will be able to get a strip of five for €5. So you can see the economies of scale there, guys. It's very much more worthwhile to buy €5 worth of ticket, get them at €1 each rather than £2 a ticket. But the choice is yours, like, you know. So one ticket is €2, guys, or 5 tickets is €5. So there you go, guys. Oh, boys, DB Woodcraft, fucking hell, nice one. I see the comment coming in there as well. DB Woodcraft, guys, gave a kick-ass prize. DB Woodcraft gave a cannabis leaf. It's good. It's an amazing hand carved with a chainsaw. So it's so good. I'm actually gonna just go to the effort of popping her up on screen there. So give me a couple of seconds. Yes, we am signed in. DB, I hope you don't mind me going over onto your Instagram page, pal. But nice plug for you. Boom, there's DB Wood's stuff. Savage stuff he has over here, but this is some of the incredible work. But I do believe this is the prize that any one of you out there who's going to partake in this raffle can win. And amazing! It is absolutely epic. Like, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to buy any tickets, like, and have the potential of winning this. But hopefully maybe somebody, a friend or so, might be able to donate back to me if they're lucky enough to win it. Because from day one when I seen this, like, I would love to have that hanging up in a room. Like, it's just a lovely piece of work. Like, I do really like it. But an amazing opportunity, guys. If you're not in, you can't win. And it's a real representation as well of the cannabis community. Like, do you know what I mean? Look at all these other truly amazing stuff that this guy is creating. Like absolutely amazing. Do you know? Look at that. Like, truly, like, art. Like, it really is. Do you know? So while this guy is a supporter of cannabis legalization, a cannabis consumer, potentially, I don't know, maybe you are. I'm don't want to ouch DB. Definitely a supporter of cannabis legalization anyway, that much I can say for sure. But look at it, like, you know, if he is a cannabis consumer and he was to get caught and he's to be locked up in prison, like, do you know what I mean? Look at the art we're robbing from the world. Why? Is that's really what it's about? What prohibition is about? It shouldn't be like, do you know? So nice one, DB Woodcraft there for the support. And guys, if you're over on Instagram, give him a follow. Yes, nice one, DB. I can't believe I almost forgot that absolutely gem of a prize that you donated. But so thanks very much. And actually, I see a message there now at the moment from Helen. Apologies, yeah, from the Funky Skunk. So she is asking me, am I free to talk? I'm not at the moment, but I will be there shortly. So we'll know what the Funky Skunk is going to be sorting out with as a prize. So nice one, John, there for the reminder. John Finnegan getting in the reminder there. DBO Craft, great prize from him as well, Martin. It was actually a gem of a prize. Yeah, careful with the word seed on PayPal, lads. Definitely, yeah, definitely, guys. You don't want to be imposing that I'm selling cannabis seeds. I am not doing that at all. No, but raffle prizes, all right, definitely. But yeah, we'll definitely do that. And I see a suggestion coming in there from DB Woodcraft, Revolut. I do have a Revolut account actually set up. I just didn't get it active yet, but I could get that active. Do you recommend that as an option for people to buy tickets? If so, definitely we could look at that as another option to put up there. Definitely make it as accessible to people as possible. But again, guys, €2 a ticket or €5 for €5 if you want to get involved. Follow the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'll announce up there as well how you can take part online. Bogwan's son would look unreal behind my stream. Nice. If you're not in Bogwan, you can't win. So again, guys, if you're there on the day as well, you will be able to buy tickets there as well on the day. You're free to take enter as much as you want as well, guys. So limited at €5 for 5. So I won't be giving any more discounts after that. €5 for 5. That's as good as it gets. So yes, I hope many of you take part and support a great cause. Pods 4420, Savage Peace from DB Woodcraft, lads. Whoever wins it will have a great prize in fairness. Nice. Nice, guys. Guys, I am going to start signing off there and get on about the rest of my evening. It's almost 6 o'clock, so I imagine many of you have got lots of stuff to do yourselves as well. So guys, thanks very much everybody for your interaction throughout the day. Thanks to all of the people who supported the show in the various ways, donating prizes, sending in super chats and donations as well there through the PayPal. And to everybody who's donated Bitcoin as well to the show, guys, tremendous support. And we will be putting all that to very good use as well. So we are getting a nice little bit of a kitty there behind the show. And the fight for cannabis legalization, we will be keeping the momentum up and the pressure on. So positive times ahead. So again, guys, have a lovely evening, and we will be back with more 420 news on Friday, guys. So stay blazed out there and keep her lit. Peace.